Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? Well, it is 3:40 a.m. and I am wide awake. I fell asleep at about 10:30. Yeah, we went to bed at about 10:30 tonight. And I got some really good sleep. I had the weirdest dreams though. I didn't know, it's like storming outside. I don't know if you can see this. It's kind of like going, it's like really hardcore and then it like slows down. But it was lightning and I couldn't really figure out at first what was going on. Like I thought somebody was like pulling into our driveway and flashing their brights and it was lightning. And I kept on like waking up and I would just see it and like I thought it was weird. Like you ever like wake up like out of a dream and you don't really know what's going on? I like woke up and I was like, because we have like this skylight in our bathroom, and so I was like, I could see it, and I was like, is there somebody in our driveway? Like, what is going on? But it was lightning flashing. I woke up today with a horrific migraine, and I knew something was going on. I was like, I said to Alex, I said, do you think it's gonna like, we're gonna get a lot of rain today? Cause I looked up and it was like kind of cloudy, but kind of sunny. And he goes, it doesn't look like it's gonna rain. And I said, yeah, I didn't think it was supposed to rain, but my head was just, I had like this pressure migraine all day today. And it really, really hurt. So I was like, I think we're gonna get some rain, but it didn't actually start until we were on our way home tonight, and it literally started sprinkling a little bit on our way home. And I was like, this is so crazy that it was like all day, and I felt like this all day. But anyway, so yeah, I woke up today with this horrible migraine, and I looked up, and Alex is like, has his you know, what are those things called? I was gonna say earbuds, but what are they called? You know, those Apple things I got him. But anyway, that we both have and love. Those things, I love them so much. I don't know why I can't think of what they're called. But anyway, and he was like dancing around and he was like folding laundry. And so then he like turned around and looked, and I was like, you must feel better. He like turned around and looked at me and I was like, you must feel better. And he was like, I feel so much better. He was like, that heating pad really helped last night. So Alex's back is like back to normal. No pun intended. Which is good because I mean I was really worried about him being on a plane, you know, this week for, you know, so many hours when we leave to go to San Diego. And yeah, and I was worried that he wouldn't be able to do like the pumpkin patch and stuff today. So we got up and got ready and we went to brunch at Patashu today. We were like, it was like us and one other couple in there. It was totally dead because apparently there was a Colts game going on today. So there was like nobody in there. And we ate brunch and then we left there at like 3:30. And I wanted to talk to Tanya on the phone for a little bit, so I was like, okay. Well, we got home at like 4:45, and I talked to Tanya for a little bit, and then I was like, we had to leave the house. Well, we had to meet Liliana and the kids and at 5:30, and I was like, which means we had to leave the house at like 5:15, because we were actually meeting them at Meijer. Isn't that funny? Because I always go to Meijer. And then they were going to follow us to this pumpkin patch, and then everybody else was going to meet us out there because like Carlos like had a bunch of stuff that he had to do, and so he and his mom were going to drive out there together with Alex's grandma. And so yeah, so we so we were meeting them there, which means I had to start getting ready at like 4:45, 4:30. And I was like, I had all these videos I wanted to make today. And I was like, I'm just gonna have to wait till tomorrow and just take the day off for making videos. So I did. And it was really nice just to have a family day, like the whole day, just kind of be like Alex and I and the family. And so we went to brunch. We had like a really long brunch. It was nice. Just sat there and talked. And the waitress is like a waitress that like we're good friends with, and so we sat and talked to her for a long time, and she wasn't busy, so she could talk to us. And do you guys see this storm? This is crazy. I'm kind of surprised Boo Radley wasn't going nuts. He doesn't like storms at all. I need to get one of those thunder coats for him. So then I came home, Alex took a shower before we went to brunch. I took a shower after brunch, and then got ready to go out to this thing. And it was like funny because it was like all these like local bloggers. I don't know why this camera is doing this tonight, but all these local bloggers were invited to like the opening of this pumpkin patch to like take pictures and put it on Instagram and all this kind of stuff, right? And I think, you know, to kind of like build awareness or get people to talk about it and come out there, it's kind of like an advertising thing, right? It was, the people were so nice that ran this place and owned it. But when I've gone to these things with Alex before, well, what's funny about it is when I go to these things with Alex, they're usually like fashion and style bloggers in Indianapolis, which are almost entirely all women. What is going on with my nose? It's driving me nuts. Oh, I trimmed my beard, or I trimmed my beard today too. And I like shaved it, like, I'm sure it's so, you guys, like, not even, because I just, anyway. But it's usually, like all women and Alex. And so when we showed up there today, I thought it was gonna be kind of like the same crew that it always is. These girls are really nice and stuff. But it wasn't. I mean, we didn't know anybody else there. But it was kind of a few kind of like fashion blogger types, because you could tell they were like well dressed up. Well, before we left, Alex was like, he wanted to take some, you know, like kind of stylish pictures out there and stuff. And so he was trying to find like the perfect outfit, and he was gonna wear a flannel. I'm like, babe, it's 85 degrees and you're gonna wear a flannel to this pumpkin patch, right? And he's like, well, what are you gonna wear? And he was like, what if it's not, like really nice? And then I started like, I was like, well, what if it is really nice, you know? And then it's like this nice like opening kind of thing, and then I'm like dressed inappropriately. And so I started getting dressed, and I literally was like sweating from heat because it was so hot. I was like sweating getting ready, and I was like, I can't do this. I said, I have to wear a t-shirt and shorts. So, and I always, you know, wear Birkenstock sandals, and I was like, but I need to wear shoes because we're going out to, it was a farm. So I wore these old sneakers that I had, these old Nike sneakers. But anyway, nobody was dressed up except for like Alex and like probably 5 of these other women out there that looked like they were like, they had like the big hats and, you know. But anyway, we had a good time. It was so much fun. And it was this huge farm. And so I have footage from our day. I filmed on my phone. The thing about filming on my phone that I hate is I don't know where to look when I'm filming. So it always looks like I'm looking off somewhere else. I'm gonna have to like practice with my phone, because if I practice with my phone and I film from my phone, then I can start including some clips of when I'm out like in public doing stuff, because it's easier that way than me having to take my camera, because my camera's heavy with me, you know, and doing that. And I could use the GoPro too, so, so I filmed some clips. So this is what happened, and then I'll show you guys the clips. When we showed up there, it's this big farm, and it's out in the middle of nowhere, Indiana. It's in Fortville, Indiana, and it's beautiful out there. And their house is actually, it's kind of like, their house is off the property. It's this big, huge, like, barn area, and when you walk in, there's like a main area where they're like selling all the stuff, and then there's a restaurant to the right, and then to the left is like the garage. I think it used to actually be a house at one point, because there's like an upstairs, and I don't know what's upstairs, but, and then you go down these stairs, and then you walk through the garage, and that's where they have like all the pumpkins and stuff like that, and they had like pie pumpkins, right, decorating pumpkins, gourds, all this kind of stuff. Alex put some pictures up on his Instagram too, and I probably will tomorrow. I started like figuring out which ones I wanted to put up, but I didn't put them up today. And so we got there, and the kids went crazy, and they were having so much fun. There was like this big bounce thing, and then Liliana's sister was there too, and then, so it was Alex and I, and Liliana and her sister, and the kids, and then Carlos and Alex's mom and grandma showed up, and so it was like 9 of us. And we did like the corn maze, and I did not get to do the hayride because I was, and there's, you can see, I even say I'm like really far away. I was like over by the corn maze, and Alex didn't know where I was. And did you hear this? This is crazy, isn't it? So like, well, they did a couple different hay rides, and so there weren't really that many people out there. There were probably, I mean, in all honesty, there were probably 70 to 100 people total, if even that, for the whole day. So they did like a hay ride, and I was like walking back. When he texted me, I was like walking back, and so anyway, I couldn't get back in time for the hayride. The hayride took, I was like, there's the hayride. And so he was like, well, do you want to go on the next hayride? And I was like, no, that's fine. I'm totally good with that. But anyway, so I was like, did you have fun? He was like, it was okay. But the kids had a great time. And then we went through the corn maze at the end, which I'll show you on the thing. And we had funnel cake, which I'll show you on here. And the whole thing, it was just really, really fun. And then, yeah, it was just nice. It was beautiful out there. It had all these farm animals. The farm animals that they have out there, like, they keep to live. They don't, like, they're not farm animals that they then, like, you know, use for eating purposes. They're like, they just live out there. And, which I thought was, I really liked that. Because when we walked in, she's like, and we have pigs, and we have, you know, goats, and we have a pig that's about to give labor, or go into labor any day. And I was like, now, are these like livestock, like animals that you like, you know? She's like, oh, no. They just live out here on the farm. Like, that's, I was like, oh, I love that. She's like, they're like the sole purpose of like, you know, being out here for the farm and stuff like that. When people come out, I guess they do like birthday parties and stuff out there, like in the summer and in the spring. Like, you can go out there and rent it for like a birthday party, or like, you know, have a dinner out there or whatever. So anyway, that was really fun, and then afterwards we were all super hungry, and so we went to, I was like, well, should I include this in here? I was kind of a little not so happy about this. We went to this restaurant called Aspen Creek, and we were all so tired and so hungry because we had been, you know, like out there forever, and, well, not forever, but like 2.5 hours or something. So we drove back towards like Noblesville, and there's this restaurant called Aspen Creek, and we go inside, and there's like 9 of us. And so I went up to the counter, and I was like, yeah, I was like, we need a table for 9 of us. And the girl looked at me, and she's like, 9? And I go, yeah. I'm looking around the restaurant. There's literally nobody in this restaurant, okay? There's probably like 2 or 3 tables max. And I said, yeah. And so then the manager, it must have been a manager, I don't know, he was standing right next to her because she didn't know how to answer me. And she was like, do you want me to set a table for 9? I'm like, literally, you guys, like a foot away from her. I mean, not even, okay? I'm like at the thing, and she's standing right there talking to him. And she's like, and I'm looking around, and she said, do you want me to set a table for 9 for them, and then so-and-so can take it right now, or do you want them to to wait for so-and-so, and then it'll be like a half an hour. And he looks at me, and he looks at all of us, and he looks back at her, and he goes, they can wait. And I was like, did you really just say this right in front of my, like, you didn't take her aside or anything? And so she goes, it'll be 20 to 30 minutes. And I looked at Alex, and I said, it's gonna be 20 or 30 minutes. And he was like, what? And he looked around, and he goes, why is it gonna be 20 to 30 minutes? Or he goes, it's gonna be 20 to 30 minutes. And like looked at me surprised, and I go, we're just gonna go somewhere else. I was so pissed. So then we went to Red Robin, where I had the Impossible Burger, and it was fantastic. Oh my God. We went to Red Robin, and we were probably, like, it was like us and one other little, like, a couple that was sitting at some table, and we had the most fantastic waiter in the entire world. Shout out to, I think his name was Reed. So shout out to Reed at the Noblesville Red Robin. He was a fantastic waiter, and literally hustled the entire time that we were there, bringing us drinks and food and stuff. He was so fantastic. So sorry about you, Aspen Creek, because we're good tippers. So I don't know why that kind of riled me up. Like, why would you say that with the person sitting right there? Why wouldn't you, like, take her to the side and be like, you know what, like, let's not open this table, let's send so-and-so home or whatever, we're really not that busy, but like, and like have her come back and be like, we're really sorry, it's gonna be like a 20 to 30 minute wait. But like, have that conversation where I'm obviously standing right there listening to everything you say. I just thought it was so rude. By the way, I still have some of my coffee left from brunch today. So we had so much fun, but it was so funny because like, Alex's mom, grandma, and Liliana all got French onion soup. I don't know why. Is that like a specialty at Red Robin or something? I don't know why I thought that was funny. I mean, that wasn't like the only thing they got. Oh, Carlos got French onion soup too. That wasn't like the only thing they got, but they all got French onion soup. I don't know why I thought that was funny. Alex and I got nachos, guac, and salsa for the table, which ended up being he and his grandma and his mom. And then I got some onion rings. Like, they have like this 6 stack of onions. Their onion rings at Red Robin are so good. I kind of forgotten how much I liked Red Robin. I even like it more now since they have the Impossible Burger there that I can eat, because it has that, you know, plant-based. And I was supposed to go there with Sarah, Alex's friend, and I guess I don't need to say Alex's friend anymore. I can just say Sarah, can't I? She's my friend too. But we were supposed to go there, and we were going to review the Impossible Burger at Red Robin together. And so I texted her a picture of the Red Robin, like, Impossible. So they have it like on the table, like a little sign for it. And she was like, we were supposed to go there together. Rude. I was like, I had no decision making in this whatsoever. But we had so much fun, and it was so much fun at dinner. And I just had such a great time with them. And then we, you know, stood outside and talked, all of us, for a long time. And the kids were hitting each other with balloons because they both got balloons. And it just was a really, really fun family day. Just such a great day. So anyway, here I'm going to show you the footage that I have. I'm like looking off everywhere, you guys. So, oh, at one point too, I'm swinging because there were swings there. And so anyway, here's the footage from today. Wait, here's the footage from, I thought I was like on my main channel video where I go, here's the footage from today, and then I edit it out. So here it is. So we are at this pumpkin patch. It is called Piney Acres Falls, and we came here with Alex's family and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law and the kids and mom, and we are walking around. It's like the opening night, and this is the room. They do all their selling and stuff in it, and they also have a restaurant in here. It's really cool. Look at this, how nice this is. See, it's good. So we're gonna be doing like an adult maze, and this place is gorgeous in here. We're gonna do, I'm like never know where to look when I'm filming on my phone, but we're gonna do like an adult maze, and they have little animals here, little goats like Tucker, and they have a kids maze and a hayride, and so we're super excited, and I will show you guys footage of it as we are walking around and doing it tonight, because I thought that would be kind of fun and something kind of different for the vlog. This farm is really, really cool, and they have this. Look at all these chickens, and then they have goats over here. This chicken. Hello, chicken. Hello, Mr. Chicken. How are you? Hi, honey. And if you can see over there in the distance, there's like a cow ride for kids. And this is this woman, and her boyfriend or husband is in this thing. He's like rolling down there. And they have a bounce house. And then they have all this. And then over there in the distance, they have a kid's corn maze and then an adult corn maze. This is like the store and the barn. And then they have Christmas trees over here that they're growing and selling. You can see it's all Christmas trees over there. And then there's the adult corn maze over there. And then there's a hayride that we do later. So, yeah, have fun. Hello. Hello. Hi, guys. How are ya? Hello, Mr. Goat. How are you doing? Supposedly there is a pig that is due any day. And she said that she was hoping that we could see the piglets. The only pig that I see is that pig down there. So I don't know. So beautiful out here. We really lucked out on a nice day. Hi, honey. Hi, honey. Did you break it? You broke it?
Sí, ay sí. ¡Voy! Uno, dos, tres. ¡Wiu, wiu, wiu, wiu!
Oh! What are we about to try?
We're about to try the funnel cake.
The funnel cake.
Homemade,
Homemade funnel.
authentic.
Is it homemade and authentic?
Yeah.
Is it delicious?
Yes.
Is it gonna make me die?
Of happiness,
Of happiness?
Right?
of joy.
That's what it looks like. It looks so good.
It's also gluten-free and dietary, so
No, that's not
it
true.
makes you
Look at this room. It's so cute. And then we got little cups of lemonade too. We're waiting. We're so excited. And then here's the menu. You can get hot dogs, chili cheese dog, corn dog, hamburger, cheeseburger, pulled pork, pulled pork nachos.
If Melissa was here, what do you think she'll get?
She get the chicken nuggets or the nachos and cheese, chili cheese nachos, walking tacos, fries, chips, and funnel cake. And there's lemonade over there. Oh, but I have to show you this. This is so cute. So these are like puzzles they sell in the gift shop. And look at that. It's like, see, oh, it's a Christmas tree farm. Now I'm ready for Christmas. I'm ready for Christmas. Are you ready for Christmas?
Check out my Instagram. It says no.
And then over here, these are the drinks.
Look, they're making it. She's making it fresh.
They have fountain pops and everything. They're making it fresh. Oh, she is. She's putting it. Oh, look, she's making it right now.
Hey, what is she making?
What?
It's an art.
It's lard.
It's an art.
Oh, it's art. Nice little kitchen back here. We have guests. Oh, the table.
Double dating.
We have guests behind us.
The double date.
It's a double. We're having a double. I never know where to look in the phone. We have a double date. Do you look here? Where do you look?
Just look natural, like you're talking to someone you
So
know.
here's our. What we got. Try it. Have you tried it already?
Oh yeah,
How is it?
amazing. Hey, it's the perfect thing to add to my double chin, you know?
It's pretty good.
Wait, use it.
I'm on the swing.
It's time for corn maze!
What? What time is it?
Corn maze!
Corn maze! My nephew is over here doing gymnastics. T.O. Peter probably can't do that, can he?
Oh, probably.
You
Yo, Peter, that's you.
I know. You think I can do that? What? What are you laughing at?
Because it says I would have today. She's a tall bee.
Okay.
Then pull the trigger. They go.
Got it.
Okay, I just want to show you guys this property while they're all over there doing that apple cannon. It is absolutely beautiful out here. Look at this. So, Alex was telling me that they actually live on the property and that their house is like way over there somewhere, like in those woods. They have all of this out here. It's so pretty, isn't it? This is like the Christmas tree area. And you can come out here and you can get your own Christmas tree. Such a beautiful evening, isn't it? Alejandro! This is my gorgeous husband. Did you fire the apple cannon? It's pretty out here, isn't it?
Sure. It's beautiful.
My husband does not love nature.
I love nature, I just don't want to live in it.
He just doesn't want to live in it.
But it's great to escape what I like.
We did not do the corn maze yet. Oh, I get why those tin pans are out there. You want to try to hit one of those tin pans with the apple.
Oh my god, that's so clever.
We're getting ready to go into the kids' corn maze, and look at what is right over here. A black cat. Don't cross my path.
Come on, guys, let's do this. You like
Corn maze.
The kids'
Corn maze.
corn maze.
Corn maze.
I'm gonna go in last after everybody. I'm watching you through the corn maze. Are you coming? This is my mother-in-law and Alex's abuela. My grandmother-in-law? What would she be? Your mother? Great grandmother-in-law? Oh, Alex wants a picture. I'll be right back. I think we're lost.
Hello?
We could for real film a horror movie out here. Scary movie.
Show Melissa.
What?
Show Melissa.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any idea where we're going?
Boy, it's a straight path, babe.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Is that why it's the kids?
Correct.
Oh. I didn't even notice until right now that there were no curves in this. Like, it's not really a maze, is it?
It's a path. The path to redemption.
I don't hear them.
You don't?
Uh-uh. Hello?
Hello?
Where are you? Oh!
Over this side. Oh, I can't go.
Where? This is like truly, you're right, not a maze at all.
But kids think it's a maze.
Yep. Adults just think it's long. I think it's long.
Adults call this a hike.
This is so a hike. And if you need a snack, there's some corn right here. Oh, I guess there's corn all around us. If you're, I'm so dumb.
You are dumb. Hello?
Woo! Where is everyone?
We're on the other side
The other side of what?
of the corn maze.
Of the corn hike?
Carlitos, we don't hear you. Okay, well, you guys got to enjoy the corn maze hike with us. Okay, we are going to Red Robin to eat dinner because Aspen Creek would not set a table for us, and I will talk about that later. They were extremely rude to me. But when I was trying to get a table for all of us. But look, there's a carnival over there, you guys. Look at that, end of the summer carnival. It's been kind of a magical day. So there you go. There's the footage for the day. Did you guys enjoy that? I had fun filming it. It was a fun day. It was funny because when we were leaving, what do you call it? When we were leaving the pumpkin patch to go to the restaurant, we were like getting into our cars and we were like all kind of like parked together. And Carlitos goes, Alex's mom said, Carlitos, do you want to drive with me? And he goes, no, I want to go with my tios. That means uncle in Spanish. So Alex was like, do you want to drive with us? And he was like, yeah. So we got him settled in the back seat with a seatbelt and stuff. And then Sebastian was real upset because Sebastian wanted to ride with us, but we couldn't, take the car seat out and stuff like that. So Carlitos rode with us to the restaurant. It was so cute. He was like, we were asking him questions about school, and he's like, tomorrow's pajama day. And we're like, pajama day? He's like, yeah, we get to wear our pajamas tomorrow at school. And he was like, and then Tuesday, he goes, this whole week is Spirit Week or whatever, and he was like, and then on Tuesday we get to wear jerseys of our favorite teams. And so then he was telling us all about that, and he's like, but tomorrow after this, I don't know why this is hilarious to me, but like so Liliana and Carlos are really short. I don't know if you've ever figured that out if you've ever seen them in my vlogs before, but Liliana's like 5 foot. She's like how tall my mom was, and Carlos is probably 5'5", and Carlitos is really short too, and so he's like the littlest one in his class. And she posted a picture of them like going to this like the first day of the school bus, and it was like all these kids. He's like taller than he was, but he's still real little, compared to everybody else. And so he's like, yeah, and then I have basketball tomorrow night. And we were like, you are? And he goes, yeah, and then I'm going to get my Halloween costume tomorrow night. So he was telling us all about that. He was telling us about all of his friends and what his favorite classes are, and his teacher's name, and why he likes his teacher better this year than he did last year. And then Alex was like, when we were talking about his favorite classes, Alex said, nap time's not your favorite class? And he goes, he was like, Tio, Alex, we don't have nap. That's only for kindergartners. And then he was like, Sebastian's not in kindergarten yet. It was just such a great family day. I feel so blessed to have my family, I just have the most amazing family on both sides, on my side and Alex's side. We just are so blessed to have such awesome, amazing families that welcome both of us in, and I think about that sometimes because I've had so many friends of mine through the years, that their families wouldn't welcome them, with being gay or their partners in and stuff like that. It's just so sad to me. And then Alex Alex and I came home, let the little puppies out, and then we went, well, I talked to Tanya, and then we went to bed. It was so comfy. That was our day. I got this email. I get these emails from all these publishing companies for my BookTube channel, and they're always like, I used to actually get quite a few books sent to me. I still do, but I think they're kind of like, they're very picky about depending on what you read and who, you know, whatever. And when I was reviewing a ton of like young adult books, I would get books sent to me all the time by publishing companies. But I don't like new releases and stuff like that. But I don't read as much young adult as I used to. I still do, but not as much as I used to. But I got this email. Simon & Schuster puts out, is it Simon & Schuster or Penguin Books? I think this one was from Simon & Schuster. But they put out like every month, like their most anticipated releases. And there are like, well, there's like probably 4 books that I really want to read that are on there. But they're releasing, what's her name? Erin. I think her name is Erin. I can't think of what her name is, but it's called something like the Stars or something. I don't know, but she's the one that wrote The Night Circus, which I listened to on Audible like years ago, like 2 years ago. It was good. I didn't love it as much as everybody else loved it, but I really could visualize it as a movie. I'm kind of surprised they've never made it into a movie. And it just was like really, I'm really surprised a lot of these like young adult books are not made into movies. Did I talk about that last night? I was either having that conversation with somebody. Well, that would have had to have been today. Who did I talk to? I was either having that conversation today or I talked about it on here last night. I'm really surprised a lot of these young adult books are not made into movies. Like, I mean, they're just kind of like, especially these world building books that, you know, there's like 3 and 4 together and stuff like that. Like the Cassandra Clare books that a lot of people love. The like A Court of Thorn and Roses. I'm kind of surprised those haven't been made into movies. The Marissa Meyer or Lunar Chronicles. I mean, these books would make fantastic movies. It's kind of surprising to me that they're not made into movies. And I actually think they would pull a huge family audience. I don't know, surprises me kind of. But I think the author's name is Erin something. But anyway, it starts with an M, I think. But that book comes out this month, and it supposedly takes place underground, and it's a sequel to The Night Circus. And then Leigh Bardugo, who wrote Six of Crows, has a book coming out, and it is an adult book. And it looks really, really interesting. And somebody else has a book coming out that I wanted to read. It's about these kids or orphans at the turn of the century or something like that. I don't know. I screenshot them because I wanted to. Well, one of them comes out. They must have been September, October books because one of them comes out October 8th. I can't remember which one that is. Well, it was pouring earlier, and now it's stopped. I have my training tomorrow. And then I have this sobriety thing I have to do early evening. And that's that. And then I have my meeting on Tuesday. I was going to pull into the Speedway and I was going to look at these books, but there's this huge truck sitting there. Oh, I guess I can pull in here. I'll tell you these books that I want to get really quick, just in case any of you are interested. Simon and Schuster. Oh, well, they have all these different lists of books that are being, so they have like, 10 fall cookbooks for pumpkin spice season. Fall crafting, 10 books on cool DIY projects. 14 books you wish you could read for the first time again. Oh, that's kind of an interesting one. Should we go through there and look and see what it says? Stephen King, 11/22/63. The Poison One Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. You know, I've always wanted to read that book. I have that at home. A Man Called Ove. I actually have that audiobook. Daughter of Fortune by Isabella Allende. Eleanor Oliphant. Gail. I have that as an audiobook too. The Princess Bride by William Goldman. Rebecca by All the Light We Cannot See. Tanya loved that book. Stephen King, The Stand. I heard that book was great. Angel's Ashes. Where is that sound coming from? Outlander. Diana, what's her name? Diana Gabaldon or whatever. My neighbor loves those books. All the Birds Singing by Evie Wild, never heard of it. Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith, I had that on Audible. Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell, and that was it. Okay. 7 domestic thrillers to binge read right now. Oh, this will be interesting. Watching You by Lisa Jewell. The Need by Helen Phillips. After confronting an intruder, Molly learns just how far she's willing to go for her children. I'm weary of saying more, so not to spoil anything, so I'll leave you with this quote from Rebecca Mackay, author of The Great Believers. Phillips is, as always, doing something more wildly her own and utterly primal. Girl in Snow by Danya Kukofka. Picture a small town, a young girl left murdered in a cold park. Reacting to her death is the boy who stalked her, the girl who wanted to be her, and the cop assigned to the case. Ooh, that sounds good. Screenshot that. The Perfect Mother. Who's that by? Amy Malloy. Sophie Hannah, Woman with a Secret. The Wife Between Us. I have that book at home. Greer Hendricks and Sarah Buchanan. I think they're writing a sequel, actually, to that. Harlan Coben, Runaway. Oh, this book I saw the other day on Audible. I want to see this. Runaway is just as good as the others, following a father tracking his daughter who's left college and gone off on her own with an abusive, enabling boyfriend. When he and his wife attempt to intervene, violence ensues, and signs indicate his family might be all he believed it to be. I immediately felt for these characters and also appreciated the tie-in to interesting topical angle involving technology gaining traction around the globe. Yes, I'm purposely keeping this vague for spoilers. I'm going to screenshot that one too. That looks good. The cover of it kind of looks like Vertigo, doesn't it? Okay, and then the one I wanted to read to you guys. Hold on a second. Pick a Disney movie and get a book recommendation. Should we do that? Okay. Are you ready? Pick your favorite Disney movie and get a book recommendation. Well, you know I don't really love Disney movies. Pick your favorite Disney movie. Snow White, Mulan, The Lion King, Frozen, Tangled, The Little Mermaid, Moana, Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Tarzan, Princess and the Frog, The Sword and the Stone, Aladdin. Well, out of all of those, I've actually seen quite a few of these. I'm going to say Aladdin. Permanent Record by Mary H. Choi. This book Is that the movie? This book features a painfully broke college dropout who works the night shift in a bodega. His role is flipped upside down when a famous and beautiful pop star happens upon him. Sounds like Aladdin and Jasmine, right? In this not-so-traditional rags to riches story, Leanna and Pablo find who they really are through loving each other, just like in Disney's Aladdin. Okay. Books to read if you miss Game of Thrones. No thanks. 6 books that taught me more than I'd learned in a whole semester. Oh, this is interesting. Are you guys so bored? Hold on. Oh, My Friend Anna by Rachel De La Roche Williams. That's what we're reading right now in the book club. Con art. Oh, wait. My Friend Anna is the true story of how fake heiress Anne Delvey, aka Anna Sorokin, befriended Vanity Fair photo editor Rachel Deloche Williams, only to scam her out of $62,000. Not only is it a juicy, fascinating read by itself, but it's series. It serves as a lesson as to why you should never trust anybody. The Last Guest House by Megan Miranda. Her books are boring to me, I'm sorry. I know some people love them, but Ruth Ware, her books are boring to me. Love at First Light by Hannah Orenston. Swimming for Sunlight. Something about dogs. That's interesting. Okay, and then where's the one? Here it is. The most anticipated fall 2019 books to add to your shelf. Fall's top 10 must-listen thrillers. Oh, must-listen thrillers. I didn't look at that one. Oh, that's on SoundCloud. Okay, we don't want that. Most anticipated books of the fall. So here I'm going to tell you just the ones that I read that looked really good. Okay, this one actually sounds good. This Tender Land by William Kent Kruger. The kind of book you can hand to anyone and know for certain that they're going to love it. It ticks all the boxes. Historical fiction, check. Coming of age, check. Fascinating characters, check. Twists and turns, check, check, check. The storytelling will transport you down the banks of the mighty Mississippi, and the 4 orphans will steal your heart without you even knowing you've been robbed. There's action, adventure, and danger at every turn, but there's also human kindness and growth and hope in a time of depression, era, desperation. William Kent Kruger is a master storyteller, and this Tender Land is truly a once-in-a-lifetime novel. I thought that sounded really good. Okay. Oh, it's something Morgenstern. I'm not there yet, but Stephen King, The Institute, which I've been talking about, is one that I want to read. Oh, did you guys know that Margaret Atwood, who wrote The Handmaid's Tale, she came out with a sequel? It's like 30 years later, right? Attention fans of The Handmaid's Tale, Margaret Atwood is back with a brilliant sequel, finally answering the question we've all been asking: what happens to Offred? The Testament starts 15 years after the end of The Handmaid's Tale and is narrated by three female characters from Gilead. I've never read that book or watched it. I think I started reading it because when I was in college, so I know it's been around that long, because, what is over here? Is it a bug? No. Because we read some short stories of Margaret Atwood's when I was in college. I don't know who this person is. I don't know who that person is. Some of these books didn't look that interesting to me. Alice Hoffman has a new book out. Where's the book? Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Leigh Bardugo's adult debut is one of my most anticipated reads of the year. Her YA fantasy novel Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom stressed and thrilled me in equal measure, so I can only imagine what Ninth House has in store. Our window into her new universe is Alex Stern, whose path to Yale is an inconvenient one. She's gifted a scholarship by mysterious benefactors after surviving an unsolved homicide that left everyone else dead. All she has to do to keep her full ride is to report on what Yale's secret societies get up to in 8 tombs where the school's elite hang out. What does she discover? Well, apparently involves occult activities that are both sinister and extraordinary, so I, for one, can't wait to find out. That sounds so good, doesn't it? October 8th. Jojo Moyes has one coming out called The Giver of Stars. She's the one that wrote Me Before You. I did not love that. It was okay. It just wasn't the best book in the entire world. Where's the other one? Morgenstern. Here it is. Erin Morgenstern, The Starless Sea. It has been 8 years since the publication of the international phenomenon, The Night Circus, and now Erin Morgenstern is gifting us the perfect follow-up novel. The Starless Sea takes everything we loved about The Night Circus, the imaginative world building, the magic, the imaginative world building, the magic, the mouth-watering detail, and brings these elements to a whole new realm. I can't wait to read this timeless love story set in an underground world populated by pirates, painters, lovers, liars, and most importantly, books. That sounds really good, doesn't it? And there was another one I think that I wanted to read. Maybe not. Nope, that's it. I mean, there's other ones that are coming out, but you can sign up for those. Did you know that? So if you go to like Simon & Schuster, Penguin, if you're a big reader, Simon & Schuster, Penguin Books, all that kind of stuff, you can sign up for their newsletters. I mean, you don't have to be a booktuber or bookstagram or anything like that. You just sign up for their newsletters and you just get them for free. And they just like send you all of the books that are coming out. I think that's kind of cool, don't you? Sometimes they have deals on there too, where they'll send you like coupons for like so much if you buy it from the website and stuff like that. I slept for like 5 hours, you guys, and I'm pretty awake. Like, I'm hoping I can fall back asleep. I love books. I love books so much. I had to take a friend of mine, a sober friend of mine, but whatever. I need to just stop. It's stupid that I say that, but anyway, I took a friend of mine to the library about 2 weeks ago, and it was a library that I don't usually go to, but anyway, he had to go there, so I was taking him to the library, and when I was like leaving there, like we were walking out, and there was like this mom walking in with her son, and he was like, did I share this on here already? He was probably like, I don't know, 9 or 10, and he was like talking about what books he wanted to look. They were walking in, we were walking out, and he was like, I want to get this, and I want to look for this, and I want to look for that, and she was like, okay. She was like, well, there's a couple books that I want to get, and I was like, oh my god, it so reminds me of my mom. I mean, my mom and I, like, us going to the library was like a really big deal. That was like something that we did together and loved doing together, and not as I was an adult, but when I was younger, we would go to the library all the time, and she'd say, you can take out as many books, and I'd have all these books, and she'd be like, Peter, you can't possibly read. Oh yes, I'm gonna read all of these books, you know, and I'd always get real excited about it. You know, I honestly don't really know what it is about reading that I love so much, but there is, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love to buy clothes and I love to buy shoes, and you guys know that, but there is something about walking into a bookstore and like just browsing and reading books and seeing what I find that is like, I don't know, it's bizarre, you know. It's like all these different worlds can open for you, and I think it's that, you know. And I think I've always been a reader that you know, I would like find a book that I didn't necessarily think that I would like, and I would like fall in love with that, you know, book or series. Like I did read some series when I was a kid, not a lot, but I can tell you, like, if the Harry Potter books had been out when I was growing up, like, I would have been obsessed with them. And I also think that my reading tastes would be a lot different. I think I would like more, like, what do you call it? World building books. Like, I don't dislike them, but I don't love them. Like, they're hard for me to get through sometimes, because I like more realistic books. Like, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Although, a couple years ago, I read that Maggie Stiefvater book. That's why I want to read The Raven Boys. And it was like magical realism, which I didn't even really realize what magical realism was until I read that book. And then after I had read it, and then all these definitions I had seen, I totally understood what magical realism was. But I don't know that I could explain it to anybody. I mean, magical realism is when, you know, like, there's magical elements, and then it's combined with like a realistic, you know, story of today, typically. I'm trying to think of like a movie that would be like that. That book was beautifully written. I think it was Crooked Saints, maybe, or something Saints. It was beautifully written. But yeah, I don't like, and I know so many people that love, it's like, okay, like the books, the Miss Peregrine books, like I didn't even love those. Like I had a hard time with that. Like I don't know, I just, why am I like, my mind is just going flat right now. Okay, I was at the end, and then when I started recording it again, it was like really super blurry. Why can't I think of what it's called when it's like, I'm like, what is going on with my mind? I cannot think of what this is called. It doesn't matter. I know people are like shouting it at the camera. You know what's funny is, before I got on BookTube, I really just thought like a book was a book. Like, I mean, I knew there were different genres, like science fiction, romance, you know, things like that, you know, but like true crime. But I didn't know that there was like magical realism or contemporary romance or, you know, things like that. And I just really didn't understand it at first. I didn't think that it really mattered. I still don't know that I think it really matters. But I do know that there are a lot of people that are very, very serious about the categorization of their books. I just don't always sometimes know where a book goes. It's sometimes like when I'm on Goodreads and people will have like these very specific bookshelves, because you can build like bookshelves, you know, on Goodreads, and they'll have these very specific bookshelves, and I'm like so kind of confused by, what is it called when it's just like, oh, I don't know. Anyway, I just like realistic books that are basically just like stories of somebody's life, you know what I mean? The other thing is, as far as like releases, I never like, there's always these BookTube videos that come out, and it's like my favorite releases for 2019 or something. Like I never know what books are going to be released. Like I don't know why, but like I never know. Like I don't even know where you find that. If you know where to find that, well, I've said this on BookTube before, and like nobody comments. Like I don't know where you find that. You find that on Goodreads? Like where do you find like a list of all the books that are coming out in 2019 from every publisher? Like is there a Barnes & Noble release of that, or you know, Books A Million or Half Price Books? Like I don't know. Like Patachute is changing their coffee company that they use. Like this is like coffee they ordered, and they have the most fantastic brands. Did I ever complain about this? I'm so not happy about it. And today they changed to like a local coffee thing, which I think that's great that they're using like a local coffee person. But the coffee that they had before was like a small company, I think, that they used, because you could order coffee, and like when you would order the coffee, it would come in like these little bags. But they had like coconut, blueberry crumble. They had all of these flavors I love, and apparently they're gonna go, and it's just not gonna be like anything. It's just gonna be like basic, like kind of coffee, but it's like a local like coffee shop here in town. So we'll see. I might end up loving it. Who knows? But today was the last Sunday that they're gonna have it, and this was, I think, chocolate raspberry. You know what's so funny is I went through this period of life. My mom, she would die back in the day. She'd be like, oh my God, she'd be like, we would go somewhere and she'd say, they have hazelnut coffee. And I'd be like, hazelnut coffee? Oh my God, Mom, you know. And she'd say, yeah, they have hazelnut coffee. And so she loved any kind of flavored coffee, you know. And so I would like buy her, like during the holidays, I'd buy her like, you know, do you remember they had like those little things of like ground coffee that you could get? And I would get her like peppermint, mocha, and then I would get her like pumpkin spice. You know, back in the day it was like real plain. And she'd say, oh my God, I can't believe that they have these. She'd get so excited, and she'd make a pot of that coffee, you know, with like some other different flavor. It did not take much. My mother truly was somebody that loved the simplicity of life. She really, really did. A couple candles lit. She loved sticks of incense too. Like, do people still do that? Or do people not burn incense anymore? Because we're so weird about like smoking in our houses and stuff like that. Probably people don't really burn incense anymore, do they? My mom loved incense, and she had this like, and she had like tons of different kinds of incense too. And it was like, not like the kind that you just go to like the Karma record store and buy, you know, that's like cherry or musk. I'm not talking about that kind. She just had really like interesting, very good smells, and she would get them at like Whole Earth stores and things like that. But she would like have a fire, and then, you know, down by the fireplace, she would have like a stick of incense burning, and she would have candles going and stuff like that. And she loved just like a fireplace and like a cup of coffee and just to sit there and talk, you know, like my mom loved all of that. And to have like a flavored coffee, she'd get so excited. Or like a flavored creamer. My mom would die over a flavored creamer. She loved it. I have this friend of mine. We would go to gas stations, and she and I back in the day, we haven't done this in forever. I need to call her, but we would go to the casino and we would play blackjack. They didn't have like tables where people dealt up here, but they had like these electronic blackjack ones, and we would go up there and we would play. Like on a Friday or Saturday night or whatever. And on the way we would stop and we would get coffee, and like at a gas station, and she would leave, and she would have like, I'd be like, girl, what are you doing? And she'd be like, they're there for you to take or use. It so reminded me of my mom. She would take like all of those creamers, you know, like those little creamer cups, but they would be like the special ones that are like different flavors, and they have like, you know, eggnog and like pumpkin pie. If you go to some gas stations, they have like 5 or 6 different, I was going to say 6 or 7, but that's probably pushing it. But they do have like 5 or 6 different flavors, you know what I mean? And like Irish mint or whatever. And she gets so excited about it. And she'd be like, oh, they have all these different creamers. And then she'd just throw them in her purse. I'd be like, you better hope those creams don't bust open in your purse. But anyway, I'm trying to get over by this pickup truck next to me. It was have like this huge, what do you call it on the back of it? Trailer that they're carrying. Anyway, yeah, my mom loved all that stuff. When I was at Meijer yesterday, getting Alex stuff for him, I noticed that they have this coffee. I was just kind of like turning the corner of this aisle, and they have these like special coffees, and it was Mackinac Island fudge. Okay, well, what is so interesting about this, like that would have been one that I would have bought my mom. What's so funny about that is, do you guys know Mackinac Island? So Mackinac Island is in Michigan. If you've never heard of it, you should look it up. And you, so you can drive up there, and then, do you have to take a ferry over? I think you have to take a ferry over to Mackinac Island. And, I stayed there, like, when I was a little kid twice. Once with my mom and dad, and then once just with my dad. We sailed up there, because my dad had a sailboat that he kept in Saugatuck, so we sailed to Mackinac Island. But, I don't know if they have them now, but back in the day, they didn't have any cars on the island. It was all just like, you know, you would walk, or they had like horse-drawn carriages and things like that. And they have this hotel there, this big white hotel called the Grand Hotel. And I was obsessed as a little kid with going there, because I had seen the movie Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeve, who played, is it Reeves or Reeve? Christopher Reeve, who played Superman, and Jane Seymour. And if you've never seen it, it is a fantastic movie. You should try to find it sometime. It's older, but the whole thing is done to the song Rhapsody in Blue, the classical song. Oh my God, that's such a great movie. So anyway, he's like an actor in a movie, or an actor in a play in like the 1980s, right? I think it takes place in the 80s. How old would I have been when I went to that? I don't know, but anyway. And so this old lady comes up to him after the movie, and she's like, come back to me. And so he gets like this brooch or something. I don't know. He does like some research, and he finds out it's like this time travel movie. So it's all about time travel. And, oh, it's so good, you guys. Oh, I want to watch that again. I haven't seen that in forever. But anyway, the whole thing is filmed and takes place at the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island in Michigan. Caroline, my cousin Caroline, and her husband and son still go up there in the summers. And you can rent like cabins and Airbnbs and stuff on there. And there's like other hotels there now too, I think. But the Grand Hotel to stay at back in the day was like you had to dress for every meal. Like you had to dress up for every meal. It was like a big deal. And I mean, it was like an old like hotel. It's like white. It looks like, you know, has like these huge white columns, like the White House. And it was just really, really cool. It was like, I think like the turn of the century or whenever it came around, it was like where like all of the elite in the Midwest and Chicago and stuff would go on vacation in the summer. And then, you know, through the years, it like became more touristy, and like it was pretty touristy when we went there. But I remember us staying there, staying in the hotel and stuff, and I remember like having to wear like a little tie when we would go there, and I remember having like, I don't know why, but I remember like a hot fudge sundae, and there was a scene in the movie too where they like eat a hot fudge sundae. For some reason I remember like the correlation of the two of that. But anyway, if you've never seen the movie Somewhere in Time, you should see it. It's fantastic. What made me think of that? Oh, because it was Mackinac Island Fudge was the name of the coffee. I thought that was funny. And Mackinac Island is known for having really great fudge. Or do you guys like fudge? Oh, God, I love fudge. I haven't had any fudge in forever. I like peanut butter fudge. Listen, I don't say no to a fudge, but I don't love like chocolate fudge. That's not my favorite. Peanut butter fudge is probably my favorite. Well, I'm a peanut butter anything is my favorite. But what else do I love? I just like vanilla fudge. We used to go to, so the week of Halloween, my mom and I, we would always go to, sometimes on Halloween, Nashville, Indiana. Oh my God, somebody said on here that it was actually the Nashville house, where they have like the apple butter and the biscuits and all that stuff, and you're so right, that was at the Nashville house, so thank you for saying that. And then where I used to stay with my dad when I would go was the Abe Martin Lodge, which was like, I think closer to Bloomington. And then there also is a restaurant, and I think it's called The Ordinary, that's in town there too. And I think they have like split pea soup there and stuff like that. I don't know why I remember that. But anyway, so my mom and I would go down there like the week of Halloween. We would walk around. It was real Halloween-y, and they have like, it's all like little stores and stuff like that. And so we would always get fudge right before we came home to like eat the fudge in the car on the way home. And I remember there was this fudge shop down there. They had the most amazing fudges ever. And they had like dreamsicle fudges and whatever, and all these different kinds of fudges. Fudge is expensive. Quite frankly though, I just am fine with peanut butter fudge. I love peanut butter fudge. Or just like, is it vanilla? Is that what I'm thinking? Vanilla fudge? That's just kind of plain. It must be, because chocolate would be the other one, right? And I don't love chocolate. But I do like nuts in my fudge sometimes, so I can go with a chocolate fudge with some nuts in it. Depends on the nuts though. I don't love all nuts. Oh my gosh. I need to turn around and go home and go to sleep. I was just looking at this hotel up here, and I was like, I'd like to stay in a hotel. I haven't stayed in a hotel in a while. Well, since Vegas. And I'm trying to train myself to say Vegas, not Vegas. And then I was like, oh, we're going to be staying in a hotel this week. I'm really excited. Okay, you guys, I'm going to get off here now. And let's see. What is tomorrow? Monday. Oh, yes, Monday. The start of your week. My memoirs. Have you ever seen Auntie Mame? It's only one of my favorite movies of life. My memoirs. Anyway, okay, do you guys remember the one night that I was on here and I was talking about where somebody said, sing out, Louise, and I thought it was from Gypsy, which I think it is from Gypsy too, but I couldn't remember what it was from. I don't know how I remembered this, but I was walking around the house and I was like, sing out, Louise. I was just like saying it, which is in my life something completely very normal. And all of a sudden I remembered what it was, and I don't remember what the movie is called. I think it's called Flawless. I don't know how I just remembered that. But it's with Philip Seymour Hoffman. So tragic that he passed, isn't it? I loved him. Another one taken by drugs. So he was such a fantastic character actor. And I think it was Robert De Niro or Al Pacino. I think Robert De Niro I'm gonna go with. And he had like, Robert De Niro had some like speech, like something that happened. I think he had a stroke. And Philip Seymour Hoffman lived above him and like taught singing lessons, but was also a drag queen. And so it was like this unlikely friendship. Do you guys remember this? It was so fantastic. And in that movie, he's like, Philip Seymour Hoffman is like trying to get him to talk, and he's like, and he can't talk because he's had a stroke. And it's like the first time he's ever gone to visit him. I mean, this is not funny, but it was funny in the movie. And he's like trying to get him to talk, and he goes, "Sing out, Louise." Anyway, I don't know why I thought that was funny, but if you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's hilarious. But it's such a great movie. Flawless. If you've never seen it, I think one of them got nominated for an Academy Award for it. It was really a great movie. Anyway, sad. It's very sad at the end, though. I will tell you that. Just so you're not thinking you're going into a comedy. I'm not a big comedy person. All right, I hope you guys, I'm gonna get off here now. I hope you guys are having an amazing Monday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, do not have other plans. Make the most of the start of your week. Make the most of your Monday. Enjoy it. Do something different today. I don't know, have something different for lunch. Watch a different TV show tonight. Do something a little bit different. Start a new book. Try some new food for dinner. I don't know. Something fun. Do something different. You're exchanging a day of your life for today. And today, and this is not a dress rehearsal, so make the most out of today. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and tell yourself how important you are. Say, I love you, you are valuable, and that you really believe it inside. Make sure that you tell yourself positive affirmations every day about yourself. And most importantly, make sure that you pass it on to somebody else and let them know how important they are to you and how much they mean to you. So, and if you liked the little footage from my day and you guys would like to see more of that, let me know. I know I'm going to San Diego this week, so people will either say, you're not showing us any of San Diego and you're just sitting in the hotel room the whole week, or they'll say, show us please more of San Diego. So if you guys want to see San Diego, let me know. And then other people will be like, I miss your car vlogs, I miss your car vlogs. So let me know if you'd like to see a mix of it, all of it. Let me know in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!